President Kenyatta's assent of the Division of Revenue Bill 2019. Assistant County Commissioner arrested in Garisa over attempt to repackage government-branded relief food. Good afternoon. The planned autopsy on business tycoon Tom Cohen aborted today following his estranged wife Sarah Wairimu's defense team objecting to the government pathologist. The defense team led by Philip Morgor claiming conflict of interest on the part of Dr. Peter Ndegwa on account that he was present at the retrieval of Cohen's body at his residence on Friday. Morgor demanding for an independent pathologist, causing the autopsy to be rescheduled to Wednesday morning to be undertaken by Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Odwor, who has been recalled from leave. Equally, Morgor wants Sarah Wairimu to positively identify Cohen's body before the post-mortem.
I was in the scene of the crime on Friday as a pathologist invited by the DCI, and some of the lawyers were also there, and they picked up something I said or rather mentioned to the DCI at the alleged crime scene, and they happen not to be very happy with that, and they have requested that I should not continue representing the government or the DCI in this case, and they feel that maybe it will be prejudiced, and therefore we have all accepted. My colleague Dr. Johansen Odwor is on leave, but he has agreed to temporarily resume work and be here tomorrow for the post-mortem examination.
If they think they can manage to get that addressed in court and have brought to identify, fine. But you know, the standard forms are usually the forms that show family members or the people who are coming, who are usually the victims. I don't know whether she can call herself a victim, but then again, if she wants to identify the body, let her come and identify the body so that it does not bring any other technical issues at a later stage. So let her identify if she can be able to make it. But tomorrow 9:30, because of the family problem, the family needs to have this body buried. They need to travel back. They are living in the hotel. It's getting expensive, paying for these expenses for the X-ray and the CT scan and all that. They need to have a closure. So tomorrow 9:30, we must just proceed with it.
The county allocation of revenue bill has been tabled in the Senate, outlining how the 316 billion shillings allocated to counties will be shared amongst the 47 devolved units. The republished Division of Revenue Bill allocates 378.1 billion shillings to the counties in total, with 316 billion being the equitable share, 6.2 billion for the medical equipment scheme, and 880 million shillings for water towers, among others. Tycoon has been following the Senate sittings in Kitui and now joins me live from Kitui County. Chimtai, it's good to speak to you. Let's start off with first things first. The President signed the bill into law today. In fact, some money has already been allocated to the counties, about 50 billion. But it seems the standoff is far from over. The senators are unhappy. Tell us why.
Well, Yvonne, even as we speak right now here, the chamber is actually heated. Senators are still protesting over that decision of the president to sign into law the Division of Revenue Bill 2019 at a time when there is a contention over some level of illegality. Remember, the president signed the Appropriations Act into law without a Division of Revenue Bill which outlines the shareable revenue really between the two levels of government, the national government and the county governments. And after the republished version of the Division of Revenue Bill, that is the mediated version, was passed by the mediation committee, section members of the National Assembly had a cheeky move and actually amended the date of publication to July 1st, which was the date of the initial Division of Revenue Bill, which was an attempt to cure that illegality by President Kenyatta in signing the Appropriations Bill into law when there was no Division of Revenue Bill. And now senators are actually taking the Speaker to task to first explain which version of the bill he signed and first give that clearance before they can now make a decision on on what happens, and probably just to give us a better explanation about what is happening in the chamber is Narok Senator Ledama Olekina to probably tell us what is happening in the chamber and what is the cause of it.
We have a National Assembly which decides to violate the law. They know that there was an issue of the Division of Revenue Bill, which was still to be determined, but they went ahead and they actually gave the president the appropriation bill for him to sign it into law so that he can start spending money. Now, for them to sanitize their illegality, they want to do an illegal move and backdate the effectiveness of the date of the mediated version of the bill. I sat in the mediation committee. There's no way in the mediation committee that we discuss the issue of amending the effective date. They know that we have a matter in court. And the moment we accept that now this thing can be okay, it will be actually abating an illegality. Because what we'll be saying is that what the president did was okay because we have backdated the effectiveness of the DORA, which has now been signed into law. The other issue which is very, very important is that Article 113 of the Constitution is very clear, that each house of Parliament, either the Senate or the National Assembly, shall debate the mediation version of the bill, which will then be sent to the President for the President to be able to sign it into law. So what we are seeking clarification from the Speaker is that, yes, we know we have the CARA, which we must pass, but we also want to make sure that we are not treated into a theoretical where we go in and abetting corruption. So what we are seeking from the Speaker is that when he signed the vellum, which version of the bill did he sign? Did he sign the one we passed, in the Senate? The one that we voted in the Senate, which did not have anything to do with the date? Or did he sign one that was amended by Kimani Ichung'wah to be able to please the President by saying, no, don't worry, we will deal with this issue? So really, these are constitutional matters, and it would be very wrong for us senators who are elected by Kenyans. I represent over 1.2 million Kenyans, or maybe even more from Narok County. And it would be illegal for me to agree to allow the executive to be able to control the legislative arm of government. Because there is a reason why the framers of the Constitution set up those three arms of government for separation of powers. So what we're actually seeing is that, this is what Kenyans ought to know, is that the Senate is out there to defend. Yes, there's nothing we can do now. The law has been signed, but this matter is in court. And we're also sending a very strong message to the judiciary. Because I'm concerned as to why the Chief Justice would give a date which is in future for us to be able to decide matters. So if they are not bold enough to be able to, make decisions, then it's about time they go home as well. Because we in the Senate have made a decision that we will not abet corruption, we will not sanitize an illegality, and I think the judiciary also need to take notice on that we are very serious, we know our process, and if in most of them, they don't know, they should come back to us so that we can school them. It is ridiculous. Thank you.
Well, that was Narok Senator Ledama Olekina, literally the horse's mouth, telling us about what is happening in the chamber, and we will be bringing you further updates on what is happening and possibly more details about the details in the county allocation of revenue bill in our subsequent bulletins at 7 o'clock and at 9 o'clock. Back to you, Yvonne, for the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you, Tycoon, live from Kitui County, where the Senate is holding its sittings. If you recall, they've been doing a rotational around the counties in the country. Let's come back to Nairobi, and the race for Kibra parliamentary seat has begun, with Orange Democratic Party unveiling its campaign team to secure the seat. After a 3-hour meeting in Kibra, the team led by ODM Director of Elections Jeanette Mohammed, the party announced that it will roll out its campaign starting this Friday and warned other candidates to brace for a tough battle.
Kuna wale wameleta watu wengine, kazi yao ni kutaka kuleta aibu hapa Kibra. Mtaikubali hiyo aibu? Wengine hata hawezi express himself, lakini amesimama ati anataka kuwa kiongozi Kibra. Kibra ndio chanzo cha ODM. Na Waluya anataka kuambia hivi, we are not lesser members of ODM, we are equal members of ODM. Sisi tuko ODM legitimately.
And as I mentioned earlier, the government has released 50 billion shillings to counties as allocations for July and August after President Uhuru Kenyatta assented to the Division of Revenue Bill. Acting Finance Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani says the government will release the remaining funds on schedule to ensure counties deliver of their planned budgets. The counties have been facing financial crisis following a standoff over the Division of Revenue.
Following the enactment and assent of Division of Revenue Bill 2019, our focus as the National Treasury shifts to immediate disbursement to county government. In this regard, I confirm that the National Treasury has disbursed with immediate effect Kenya shilling 50 billion for purpose of the now overdue disbursement for July and August.
We shall allow the counties to voluntarily remit once they get the money. And should they fail to do that, we have instruments in law that we normally use. We call them emergency notices, where we attach their accounts and collect the money ourselves from those accounts. But obviously, being a very facilitative agency, we will allow them first to remit the money.
Families and relatives of the 5 women who were sentenced to a 3-year jail term with an option of paying a fine of 200,000 shillings for undergoing the female genital mutilation in Meru are now crying to the government to intervene and pardon the 5. This is after they failed to raise the fine. The 5 women who hail from Imenti Central in Meru County are all mothers to young children.
Almost 2 weeks since these 5 women were sentenced to a 3-year jail term for undergoing FGM, their families have known no peace. The biggest gap being the children they left behind that have now become a community burden.
Mmoja wa wale walisikwa aliwaza watoto wao kwa mtaa, hakuna mtu iko nao hawa watoto, hakuna mama, hakuna baba, hakuna mtu wa kuangalia hawa watoto. Wanaenda hivi hivi, ni ule mtu anawaingia huruma akapatia chakula, pamekaa hivyo. Na watoto ni watoto wandogo, wajui hata kufika chakula, na ni wasichana wawili kidogo, huu wa miaka 3, mwingine wa miaka 4.
The 5 women had opted to undergo the cut in their quest to have them accepted to join a women group in the village. But their actions on the night of July 14th this year have only left their families regretting ever since.
Hiyo faini ni kubwa, mamake hawana pesa, hata hakuna kitu wako naye, hakuna hata ng'ombe, hakuna hata mbuzi. Sasa hata wao ni masakini, baba watoto hata hana kitu hata yeye.
Sasa tuko na sinda serikali, tunamuomba usamee hao mama wakuje kwa watoto wao.
Ingefaa sana ichunguzwe sana isije ikakuwa inaendelea, kwa sababu hiyo ni mambo imepitwa na wakati.
With the 5 being forced to begin their jail term after failing to raise the 200,000 shillings fine, for their families they will have to make do with whatever they can to at least fend for the children left behind. Raquel Mugai, Citizen TV.
12 members of the Kirinyaga County Assembly have asked the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that's DCI, and the EACC to investigate the county government's leadership over allegations of massive corruption and looting of county resources. Speaking at a press conference in Kirinyaga town, the MCA is led by Mutira Ward MCA Kinywa Wangoi, also alleged that corruption is deep-rooted in the county procurement departments, with individuals close or related to leaders being awarded contracts worth millions of shillings.
We as the members of the County Assembly, we are going to do our oversight work without renting, without looking backward. We also would want to request, ask our governor, Madam Anne Waigoro, Anne Mumbi Kamodo, that a lot is not being done in Kirinyaga. And you must, charity begins at home.
Sisi kama Kirinyaga tumejionea na macho yetu ya kwamba contract zinapeanwa, na contract zikipeanwa zinafanywa kazi na gari za serikali ya county. Tunasema hata sisi sasa pesa ya county itumiwe kwa njia inayofaa, na tunaalika wale wanafanya uchunguzi waje wafanye uchunguzi, sababu hatutanyamaza tena kuona pesa zetu zikitumiwa kwa njia isizofaa.
An assistant county commissioner is among 4 suspects arrested as they tried to repackage 655 bags of government-branded relief rice in a store in Garisa. The suspects were arrested after a contractor informed police about what was going on. The contractor, Musa, said Hassan told police about the suspect activity, which would have diverted the food which was being transported to Huluho. According to Paul Soy, the regional police commander, Joseph Achumi, the assistant county commissioner of Garissa, had signed in the delivery of the food long before the relief reached Huluho, thus implicating him as a culprit.
The relief food, which was to be delivered in Hulugo sub-county, was diverted to one of the stores within Garissa town. Officers, after receiving the information, stormed the said stores and managed to recover a total of 655 bags of rice. On 15 September 2019 again, the driver of the said lorry, which was supposed to be transporting the rice, was arrested together with the conductor, and he kept the account of all the same after the ACC Hulugo, while he was in Garissa, signed delivery of the said rice that he has received before it was delivered in Hulugo.
World Half Marathon record holder Jeffrey Kamworor landed in Kenya early this morning, fresh off his lightning 58.01 minutes run in Copenhagen that shaved 17 seconds off the world record. Kamworor also took 39 seconds off the course record set in 2017 by Bahraini Abraham Cheroben.
Really excited and happy to break that record. I think it was something that it has been in my mind for so long, and I was actually thrilled to break it.
Those are the stories our teams are working on, not just here in Nairobi, but around the country. We'll have a more comprehensive news for you at 7 p.m. tonight. And you can join me tonight. I'll be sitting in for Hussein Mohammed on Newsnight. I will see you then. In the meantime, keep with Citizen Television and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.